Hi, my name is Katie McGivern and my student ID number is 219598082. I'm going to go ahead and explain how to do CPR on our canine patient, as well as what the projection would be if it was a feline patient. He is intubated, and I do have my ventilation bag here with the gauge on it, and I'll explain everything as I'm going through it. I know he's a little bit hairy, but he does have an ET tube in and he's bagged as well. So when you're doing CPR on a canine patient, you want to go ahead and quickly evaluate how deep the chest is, how big the animal is, and kind of go from there. You want to make sure that when you're doing the compressions, it's either a ½ inch to a ¼ inch depth of the chest, and usually right where the deepest part of the chest is, you're going to make sure that when you're doing your chest compressions, your arms are locked. None of this, where your elbows are not locked, because if they're not locked, they're not actually compressing the dog. And then you want to go ahead and make sure that you're administering your rescue breaths on your intubated patient. Now, another really big part of this is with the BVMs that you're using, and because your patient is ventilated, you want to make sure that you are never, ever, ever exceeding the 5 to 15 centimeters of H2O oxygenation to the animal. If you go above 20 on your gauge with your bag, or you administer rescue breaths too fast at a rate that may damage the lung capacity, or it can even do esophageal damage, there's so much that could go wrong. So although in the heat of the moment and in the pressure of what's happening and the dramatic part of it, you want to make sure that when you're doing the rescue breaths, you're doing them slowly on the canine patient. So I'm going to evaluate my patient, make sure that they're non-responsive. Fido, 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 they're non-responsive. Patient's not breathing. Let them know that you're going to go ahead and start your CPR. So as you're doing the chest compressions, you want to do 100 to 120 chest compressions per minute. And then as you're doing those compressions, you want to make sure that you're ventilating the animal. And you want to do about 50 to 60 breaths per minute on the ventilation. Again, you're going very, very slow. You never, ever, ever want to exceed on the gauge the 20 centimeter mark for the PTVs that you're administering. So we're going to go ahead and simulate, and I'm going to start counting at 90, 98, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. Breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17. Very slow administration of the bag. You can see that I've got my bag right here, and I've got my gauge on it, and I'm making sure that as I'm bagging, I'm not squeezing very, very hard, and I'm not exceeding that 20 mark that I talked about earlier. Then again, check for signs, see if they're breathing, see if the chest is moving up and down, see if the gums are a different color, see if they become responsive. And then here goes Fido, yay, he's up. All right, and that's how you do your CPR on your canine patient. Again, it all depends on the size of the dog, the size of the cat. Cats are usually a rate of 10 breaths per minute, and you're also only doing chest compressions with your thumb and your forefingers because the chest of the cat is much, much smaller than that of like a large breed dog. So all of these things are a factor when you're doing your CPR.